everybody. How you doing today?
My name is Nick.
And Nick.
And this is Nick and Nick at Nite. This is our weekly podcast that we are doing in response to all of this coronavirus stuff. And we thank you for coming in and joining with us. We're going to hit a couple quick announcements before we really dive into the bulk of what's going to happen tonight. But we are excited to be using this platform, and I just want to give a personal thanks to Boker over here for setting us up and getting this all going. He's been doing a lot of work behind the scenes to make this look as good as it does. And we are in a mobile studio. We are not quite hitting the 6 foot apart boundary, but if I see or hear a cough, he's getting a face full of this is what's happening. So we're going to go with it like that. So let's jump into some announcements. First and foremost, we are actually going to postpone a couple of the events that we had coming up in the near future. We had Bring Your Parents to Youth Night going up for next week, and unfortunately, with all the closings and just to be safe, we're not going to be able to pull that off. And then we're also looking at Oscar Night at this point, that it's just going to upset the rhythm too much to try to pull that. We do know that schools are out till
April now.
Mid-April.
Yeah, so.
But
I mean, my guess, you guys aren't going to be going back to school, but that's just me. I mean, you guys can bet me some money now, but, I'm broke. But, you guys can send me money when I'm right. That's all I'm saying. My Venmo.
Sure.
Hit me up at my Venmo,
Oh, I didn't know we were asking for money like that right out the gate. But there are a couple ways you can stay connected. Nick, why don't you give them a heads up of how they can do that?
Yeah, you guys can, down here at the link, you guys can text HFUMYF to 81010, 81010, right?
And that'll sign you up for our texting tree so you can get updates throughout the week of things we might be trying to do. So, yeah.
And that just is a great ability for us, we can send you out like a quick text and then you guys can respond back, right? They can text back.
Yeah, you can text back to me. Also, you can hit up my personal number anytime.
Yeah, so, and then the other option is we have Insta, we're trying to stay hip. I know it's not super hip anymore, but,
I think we are unhip if we use the word hip.
I mean, we probably are, but, I still have a Facebook. I have a Facebook, so, I'm already not hip,
Hey, I just restarted my Snapchat this week.
Yeah, I still have Snapchat, but, like, if you don't have a TikTok,
I do not have a TikTok yet.
You're not the guy.
I don't know how to do the renegade or anything like that. I'm not even going to try.
Neither do I. Let's be honest. That would
just put us at a really bad start, I think.
Hunter's saying Insta is still hip, but I don't buy it, man.
Hip? Are we sure we're using the word hip?
He said hip in all caps.
Caleb said that we are the cutest boys in the game. Like the whole game. We just stepped on scene and we already the cutest ones.
Oh, man.
Appreciate that. Also, just so you guys know, weekly small groups are still going to happen. I know a lot of you joined Zooms for each of your groups throughout the week. And as long as this goes, we're going to keep running similar time things. We're going to be doing small groups throughout the week each week. And then on Sundays, as long as we're able, we're going to be doing something like this as well. So save these times. Sunday, we'll be doing the Nick and Nick at Night from 6 to 7 every Sunday. That's our goal. Unless we're told otherwise that we can't come do this, and then we'll switch it up.
We'll Skype in, guys. We'll Skype in to YouTube. I don't know if you guys know what Skype is, because you guys use FaceTime, but that's what us old people had to use back in the day.
Old people.
Yeah, I categorize myself as old. My knees hurt all the time.
I guess that makes sense.
All I'm saying is no one's talking about what we're talking about. They're all talking to Hunter. So
that's all right. They're all greeting and all that good stuff.
Let me tell you something. I'm just saying we probably need to bring Hunter in as a guest star, and he can sit on the other end of the studio.
There you go. Hey, real quick though, before we go any farther, please feel free to share this out on your socials just to get the message out that we're doing this. We've sent it out through the platforms that we know of to try to get the word out as much as possible. But if you guys could share it on your Insta stories or whatever, that might also help us.
Yeah, I shared it on my AOL.
Stop it. He's over here still using dial-up at this point.
Hey, if it works, it works.
If it works, it works. And also, another way we're trying to stay connected is we have set up a Discord, which I've asked Caleb to put the link up in the chat at some point throughout the night. And Discord is a online platform where you can chat live with people. where you can group up and go play video games if you want to. You can do one-on-one phone calls and stuff like that. So we're going to set up our own server that we can post to. We can post some funny memes. We're just looking for more ways to stay connected throughout the week as well. So if you're interested in that, click the link, join. AOL equals not hit that one.
Yeah, I know.
But you can join that and it'll be all good. So, anything else you'd like to add, Nick?
No, I don't think so. I'm trying to think. I feel like we're forgetting something, but I can't remember it right now. So I'll remember it like 30 minutes from now.
Yeah.
I'll be like, hey.
As for any other events throughout the year that might get postponed or might get held off due to what's going on, we'll just keep communicating and keep you guys in the loop as much as possible. So why don't we jump into some prayer?
Yeah.
Why don't we really be mindful of what's kind of going on in our communities,
Absolutely.
in our world? I mean, it's so. We'll talk a little bit more about it in a little bit, but we're in such a weird time that like it's so confusing, and like all of us are trying to figure this out, but I know some people are really scared. I'm very worried about people like my mom and people that I know that are really some of the more at-risk people, but this is significant for all of us.
Absolutely.
And it's really upsetting our norm of life that we used to be very familiar with. So we definitely want to pray for that. If you guys have any prayer requests that you'd like to shoot at us, there is about a 10 or 15 second delay. So we might be in prayer before we get to see all of them, but know that we do care. Please feel free to add whatever it is to the chat so that we as a community can still pray for one another. I just think that that's one of the most important things that we can continue to do to lift each other up. So with that, Nick, would you mind giving us a word of prayer before we get going?
Yeah. Let's go to the Lord in prayer, guys. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for everything you've given us. Just bless us in this space and in this time that we're going through. We're in such a weird, interesting place, Lord, with COVID-19, and it's going through the nation right now, going around the world. Bring peace to people that are scared, and just lay your comforting hand on all of us, Lord, as we work through this and work through the toilet paper shortages and everything that we got going on, Lord. Bless us and help us slow down during this time, because it is a time for us to slow down. I think of it as it's a perfect time for Lent. Slow down and really think about what's going on in our lives. Bless everything we do, and bless this conversation, and thank you for everything you've given us, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. He said it really well at the end. We do want this to be as much of a conversation as possible. We see the prayer requests for seniors on there. Absolutely. We'll talk even a little bit more about some of that stuff later, but he mentions that we really have a lot of things changing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in the middle of all this stuff, we just want to create a space to where we have a conversation. So please use the chat. We're going to talk about 2 or 3 different things here tonight. Use the chat as a way to communicate back and forth with us, or communicate with the people in the chat as well. So if you guys are having your own conversation in there, that's cool. We want to be part of that conversation, and we recognize that we can't all be face to face right now. We recognize that we can't all give each other big hugs and all that good stuff, but we're going to keep moving forward, and we're going to keep pushing and trying to get the word of Christ out and show his hope and love in the midst of all this. So the first thing we got to talk about is we're actually going to talk a little bit about what's going on this week, what's gone on this past week. A lot of you guys have jumped into some digital learning days. How's that going for you guys? Have you seen any of this stuff? Have you heard anybody talk about these digital learning days, Nick?
I mean, I have. I've heard multiple things. Like, I've heard people are like, Cherokee County's not doing school at all. I'm like, I thought they were doing digital learning days. They're like, yeah, but I don't have feel like you do. Like, school's important, guys. Like, I know it's like super, like, whatever right now, but like, these do, like, it affects us no matter what. Down the road, it'll affect you. So stay diligent. I know, like, the thing is, like, I'm gonna go hang out with friends. I'm not gonna do my schoolwork, but like, separate yourselves, because you know most of us are gonna be perfectly fine in this, but like, it's gonna be some of the others, you know, our parents, our grandparents, that can be severely infected, like not infected, but affected by this infection. There we go.
There you go. Yeah, we're just catching some of the stuff that's people were putting in the chat about digital learning days. It's been able to pull up your math grade because you can cheat. You better hope the pastor's not watching this, or he'll watch this readback or playback, because we calling you out right here live on YouTube. But digital learning days suck. I miss school and other people. I think that's what my kids have been feeling too. They really miss their teachers. Even they miss the rhythm of seeing their friends and just being able to go out and play and stuff like that. So that's been something. What else are you seeing over there, Nick?
It's saying, shh, don't tell Matt. Digital learning days are terrible. I've heard that. You know, you guys got to be gracious with your parents and all this. Like, you know, they send you to school for a reason. It's because they don't know how to teach you. You know, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of memes or conversations recently. It's like, I will pay a teacher whatever they want now, because they're teaching my kid and I don't.
I saw some senators that were talking about that. So I mean, this might be the platform like this. You know, the one thing I saw was meals being tied to public schools, and teacher salaries. And I know that's like something like super serious you guys probably don't want to talk about, but those are real things that happen in our world, and COVID-19 is exposing that in this country.
Yeah. That
there are cracks and, you know, loopholes and stuff going on that's super serious that we do have to take account for. Because no kid should ever have to wonder where their next meal's coming from. That's one of my staples.
Absolutely.
Like, no one should ever wonder where their next meal's coming from. Because if you do, you're worried about food. I mean, I'm worried about food, and I have enough money to go buy food whenever. And I'm like, still, like, right now, I'm like, so what am I going to do for dinner? Like, fast food closing down has been, like, major in my life. Because I'm like, I know how to
I could just go get a 5-lane thing from Zaxby's or something if we really wanted to. Social distancing, never heard of that. That's because that's not how community's meant to be lived. I mean, really, when you think about it, like, not necessarily we're all supposed to be like all up in each other's business, but you know, we are like communal people. We are really trying to just be in a relationship. Like, it was interesting. Yesterday, I went shopping. I went shopping for my mom because she couldn't get out and go do it herself. And on the way out, like, we thought about going to give a hug. We were kind of like, and then we both kind of backed up and did the whole like air hug thing, like, you know, because my mom would be an at-risk person. So it was so awkward. But you know, we also don't want to make anything wrong. You know, we want to do our part to keep people healthy. And honestly, just a quick public service announcement that I would encourage you guys is
PSA, people.
Yeah, I want to make sure that you guys understand that you are a part of the solution as well, or part of the problem. You know, you have that choice, and just, I know it can be boring. I know digital learning days might not be the best thing, but I truly believe that God is calling us at this time to do this. I think that is being a good neighbor. I think that is showing love to our people, and I just encourage you to be mindful of others in this time. It may not be about you. It may not be about me, but it's about all of us connected together. You know, we've got the retreat right down the road from where we're at right now, who has been severely impacted by this COVID-19.
Yeah.
You know, we there's people in our community, and there's a lot of people afraid, and we want to be about helping that and not spreading that, making it go forward. So, some people are still working. They said we can take shifts.
No. Hunter said that we should make meals for. He said meals for must. Make meals with must, and then Chloe was saying that people are gatherings of 2 or more are banned. He said we'll just take shifts. I'm not trying to do that amount of work, Hunter. That's all you.
But you can also call them. I know that we are really pushing to do more like a financial donation. And I know some of you work and some of you get an allowance and stuff like that. That's a good place to give money to right now because they are frontlining helping people.
Yeah, them and the Cherokee County school system. I know one of the statistics released was when all this started, that Cherokee County school system was covering all the meals for students, but they only had like 2 weeks worth of funds after that. They didn't have any more money, so they made a huge push for getting that out there, saying, "Hey, we're gonna push monetary donations because people need to eat."
For sure.
I'm a firm believer in eating.
All right, so let's shift gears just a tad here, Nick.
Yeah.
And are there any memes that you've kind of noticed that appropriate memes, obviously, because we know the internet can be an equally good place and an equally nervous place.
I have not seen any wholesome memes in my experience. Just the typical toilet paper memes,
Sure, the panic room ones. You see that one?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's got like toilet paper everywhere. That's a pretty funny one.
Yeah, exactly. I'm seeing all the posts of people like freaking out, not like having a good time with memes,
Well, maybe that's the good thing about Twitter versus some of the other social media is like you hardly see people taking too much of a strong opinion on Twitter. People are more about the memes and stuff like that. And I think one that I saw recently that I laughed pretty good about was that it was like haircuts after 18 weeks of quarantine, and it had like a guy with like a half mold across his face and his back, but this side was kind of shaved or like cut down a little bit. It was pretty hilarious. They're pretty much some of my favorite memes since, I don't know, when Obama was coming out of office. Do you remember the Obama
memes, yeah.
Like as they were leaving?
Yeah.
Those were just hilarious to me. Like I don't know why. They were just good memes, but the barber closed.
Yo, Hunter, where do you barber at? Because that might be my barber, and that would be real sad.
But I think there are some...
Caleb, your hair never looks good. I love you.
Yo, honestly, I'm shaving my head. That's the first thing I'm doing if it gets too far out of there. I'm not going to take this hat off because hat hair plus what I've got going on right now, I would look like Goku as like a Super Saiyan or something like that.
That was the one thing that when we did our tests, guys, that I was like, I looked at Nick, I said, I've now discovered why all podcasters wear hats. Because when you put the headband on, you either have to wear it up here and you look dumb. Like, I mean, you just look real dumb. Or you have like this...
Jason Byrne, by the way.
Yeah, I tried it. Or you got this like weird like Toon Mountain thing going on your hair. You look like what was that cartoon guy? Johnny Bravo with the big. What?
Yes, I love Johnny Bravo. That's such a good throwback.
Yeah.
All right. So if you're not really in the meme game right now, what are some things you're doing right now to pass the time?
I mean, I'm still, I'm a landscaper, so I work by myself. So it's like nothing's really changed all that much for me, except I have to pack my lunch every day. And I don't like that.
That's like waking up 15 minutes earlier.
It is. Well, I mean, it's that, plus, I have to decide ham or turkey, and I'm a chicken guy, so like I love Chick-fil-A, Zaxby's, and KFC. Caleb Seymour, you guys even listen to our own voices. Have you never seen a podcast? They always wear headphones.
Look, we are a professionally run entity right now.
Yeah. I mean, this is a Hickory Flat production.
Yeah.
Hickory Flat Church production.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I see Bryce is saying that he's playing some Fortnite to pass the time.
Yeah.
Bryce, if you aren't here, jump in the Discord. We can all play together at some point. Anything else? What else are we doing to pass the time?
I'm catching up. I've caught up on all my Netflix, all my YouTube, all my Hulu. So I'm really
In 1 week, you caught up on all of it?
Well, I try to stay pretty. When
you're up to date.
When I mow lawns, I put my headphones in and just listen. I don't actually know who the characters are. I just listen to the show.
That's interesting. So you don't listen to music?
I don't. I will if I run out of shows, but I'll listen to TV shows or movies or whatever, and that's how I pass my 11-hour days.
I hear you. I hear you. I think the last thing we have for this section is, and it's even something Boker kind of hit on earlier, is guys, in this time, show just a little bit of extra grace to your parents. As a parent now myself, I'm on the other side of the conversations that you have to have sometimes when all this stuff is
Wait,
going on.
you're married?
I am married. And I love her, and I love the kids. It's great.
Good.
But, offer just that little bit of extra patience and grace, because you have no clue all the stuff that they're trying to think through. They're thinking through how much food they need to have in the house in case something gets worse. They're thinking about the best way to keep you guys healthy. There's so much that we're talking about as parents that bring a little bit of stress, because these are uncertain times. And I just want to reiterate that and just tell you just to love on your parents a little extra during this time. And I understand that there's some annoyances that will occur during all this, but for the most part, just show some love. Anything else you'd like to add?
Show love.
Are we here?
I think we are.
Are we here? Hello?
Hey,
Hello?
guys. Hey. Welcome back from those technical difficulties.
A little bit of technical difficulties. This is week one.
Week one.
This is where all the technical difficulties.
I bumped a button. I hate that button. I've had that button on that computer, and I can't tell you how many times I've accidentally been playing a game and I'll accidentally.
I just want you to know. I just want you to know that the chat is telling us who to blame.
Well, yeah, I know. I saw you type the chat that said blame me. I mean, it's true. It is my fault.
Stop the beeping, please.
Stop the beeping.
I don't know what the beeping is. Do we have beeping? If we got beeping, we'll try our best to stop it here.
Wait, Boker's a gamer? Caleb, back in the day, I used to be.
Back in my day. That's how I know you're getting old. Is when you say back in my day. All right. So, are we still working, trying to get back going?
Yeah.
We do know that there's a little bit of a buzz, guys. That's our limitation right now in the space that we have. Our streaming computer is right below the table, and the mics that we have are really, really good mics. So they're picking up earthing.
Everything. Yeah, you fixed it. I just Look, I'm going to tell you the one thing that I've learned from doing sound professionally.
Professionally, by the way.
Professionally. Well, I mean, I work at a television studio. Is if there's an annoying sound anywhere, what you do is you just turn the volume up to cover over it.
Ah.
So they were complaining about a sound.
We are back.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming back. Oh, our people came back.
I know. We only lost one because we had 12. Now
That's
we have
okay.
11.
Again, invite your friends. We got about 25-30 more minutes worth of content probably here. One of the things that we hit up the student leadership team this week and asked, what are some things that you would like to still talk about? And they said that they would like to continue the topic we were on. And we were in the middle of a relationships kind of talk. The first week we talked about friendships and gaining good friendships to help build that trust, to help push each other. And then last week we talked about relationships, the romantic sense. And now we're going to actually talk about how
How would you define somebody that's toxic, Nick? Like if you had to throw something out there, how would you define somebody who's toxic?
It really depends because there's different levels of toxicity in people's lives. You know, like there's just people that are, I call them like just straight up toxic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like they're bad for you. You try to avoid them. Maybe you don't try to avoid them, but like they're like you're like I just know they're bad for me, right? Then you have those people that like you don't know. Like you think like, oh, everything's great, everything's good. And then 6 months down the road, you're like, you look at it and you're like, oh, wait a second. That person was like absolutely horrible for me. And I just never realized until after the fact that they were toxic in my life. Those are the two main ways I think about it.
Yeah, I actually, my wife, by the way, is like the queen of podcast, and every so often she'll put me onto a podcast, and she sent me a podcast recently with this guy. His name is Gary Thomas, and he actually suggested that there was 3 ways that you could identify a toxic person, and I felt like they were actually really good. One of the first ones he said was they have a controlling nature, and this is probably the type of person that would consistently try to get you to do only what you or what they wanted to do.
Right.
It's the person who's trying to manipulate your emotions so that they get out of everything what they want to get out, and they don't consider you at all. Another one that he said is a heart that loves hate. And I know that this like makes people sound like the devil. You know what I'm saying? Like oh, I hate things. I want to kill things. But this person's really not necessarily the Joker trying to say or trying to make everybody bad. But this is the person who wants to be the center focus of like all negativity. Like these are your victim complex type people. Where they always say that like they are the victim, and every time you talk to them, it's just negative, and they're not asking about you.
Right.
They care nothing. Like they just want to tell you all about their bad day to make you feel like you need to have a worse day, almost.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the last one is a murderous spirit. Now, again, I don't think that this is necessarily when he says a murderous spirit. I don't think he's talking about somebody who's going to come and kill you. But
that would be pretty messed up.
If you know somebody who's trying to come kill you,
they are toxic.
Get away.
I mean, they are toxic. Here. I mean,
I guess that would be a toxic by definition. But I think he's more suggesting that really they have no care for you.
Matt said social distancing, so I guess we need to like scoot further apart. Sorry,
we did get close a little bit there.
I know. Well,
but it's somebody that would say that they have no care for you and happily would use your feelings and your emotions for their own benefit and their own gathering. Have you ever experienced anybody that maybe defines one of these 3 things, Nick?
I mean,
like, do you have a story of somebody who's toxic in your life?
I had, I feel like I've told this story before, but I had an ex-girlfriend before I met Katie that she was really toxic in my life, and I just never really picked up on it until after, and she kind of, she touched on, she was kind of like, the first 2 that you talked about, like, like it was always about her, whatever she wanted to do, and I was just like, oh, it's like, it just is what it is, but like, sometimes I look at it and I go, that helped me grow as a person,
Yeah, I think sometimes we learn most in the things that almost hurt us more.
Yeah, absolutely. I think us as human beings, we learn so much more from experiences. Like you just can't be like, hey Nick, don't go do that. That's dumb. Sometimes I have to go do the dumb thing in order to figure out figure out that experience, like figure out how figure out how to grow from stuff. I know like that's not what we're talking about right now in this very moment, but like that's just very important. I feel like that sometimes you do have to grow through pain. There's growth through pain.
Yeah, I think that's true, and I think when we talk about toxic people, that there's actually something holy about learning to walk away from those people and removing that. And I think you're kind of speaking to that as we're saying, like, there was a lesson you learned out of it, and a lesson that you gained from it, but you also had to remove yourself from that relationship. And I think in those spaces, we have to understand that it's not always a negative practice. I think as Christians, we have this idea that, like, we have to go through everything for somebody. We have to, like, even if it means they beat us up and they tear us down and all that stuff, that, like, we have to take that on. That we have to
turn the other cheek.
Yeah, we have to turn the other cheek and just let people keep beating on us. And honestly, like, I don't think it's true. And this guy actually, Gary Thomas, he actually has a really cool quote, and he says, sometimes walking away is the best way to defend the good work that God is doing in you. That's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
And he brings up in Matthew 28, there's a story when Jesus pulls demons out of the townsmen.
Right. Yeah. And he doesn't he is this the one that they were talking about where they cast it into pigs?
Yeah. And then the pigs go kill themselves.
And they jump off the cliff and yeah.
Yeah. Now you think that, like, they brought Jesus in and they asked Jesus, they said, will you do something about it? And when he does something about it, they look at him and go, will you leave?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, they shut down. Like, Jesus could have sat there and proved himself. I mean, he's God, right? He could have made storms come. He could have made the rain come. He could have done anything to show his power there. But what does he do?
He just left.
He left. And the first verse in chapter 9, it says he went and got a boat and went to the other side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, he just immediately leaves.
Yeah.
And I think we don't often look at Jesus as somebody who left.
Right.
But he understood that these people, like, trying to prove himself to these people would slow down his mission. And I don't know that these people were necessarily toxic, but this is an opportunity of a time when Jesus walks away.
Right.
And when we get to the idea of toxicity in people, we need to understand that we can walk away as well. But I'm not even sure that it's just in spirituality that we need to understand that we can walk away. I think personally, there's been times that I've given too much stock into what toxic people say to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Most times in our life, we never listen to the positive. We always listen to the negative. Mm-hmm. In our life, you know, like, oh, you're so dumb, or, you know, whatever, you know, and that can be toxic. You know, sometimes you do need to hear, you know, sometimes there is some truth to it, right? But, like, sometimes, like, people are just mean to be mean because they have something going on in their life.
You know,
I like to think that everyone's good on the inside on some level, but you know, that's another topic for another day. But yeah, you know, like, I just feel like sometimes people just, you just do, like, you just have to sometimes take a step back, you know, and, you know, negativity in our lives has to be removed, but it is important to hear that because that's how we grow.
Yeah, I think it's understanding that relationships and friendships, you know, in a romantic relationship, it should not ever be one person taking everything. It should always be a give and take.
Right.
And finding people who are constantly trying to take and take and take from you, we can't expect them to not do that at some point. And it maybe even be holy and saving of what God's called us to do, to back off of those relationships. And how do you do that? How do you back away from a toxic relationship?
Sometimes you just have to like, I mean, sometimes it takes physically removing yourself from that situation.
Mm-hmm.
I think, like, physically getting up and going, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to see you. I'm not going to be around you.
It's almost admitting, right? Like
Yeah,
that
like,
there's a problem in the relationship.
Right. Yeah. Going, hey, this isn't working. Whether it's a relationship or a friendship, I mean, you can have toxic friendships too. Like, it's not just who you date or who you're best friends with, or who like, sometimes it's deeper than that. Like, just people being around in your life. Instagram or TikTok, like, maybe you follow a certain TikToker that puts toxicity out in the world. Or someone on Snapchat that puts toxicity out in the world, right? I mean, I talked about it, like, on Twitter. I used to be big on Twitter, and I just got to the point where I was like, there's just so much toxicity, so much, like, filth, not like bad, but like just like so many bad things on Twitter. Like, there's not like positive things going on there most of the time. Most of it's griping and complaining through memes most of the time. But like, people just sit there and complain because that's what people do best, is complain.
Yeah, I do want to say that I feel like there is a little bit of a difference between somebody maybe you would disagree with and somebody that you would consider toxic. Because I think there can be safe disagreements,
Right,
and I think there can be
absolutely,
non-toxic disagreements to where people can converse. I think where toxicity reigns is when it's somebody who's always trying to take from you, and like on an Instagram and a Twitter, I've noticed that sometimes, like, you'll try to have a civil conversation, and people will come in there and they'll just berate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And they'll follow up that with posts and messages later and all that stuff. That might be a toxic person.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, I'll just say this, like, I don't mean like every time there's a disagreement that person's toxic, it's far from that, but there's just a lot of toxicity out there, I think, and I think it's just being aware that it's out there and then trying to filter it and go, hey, there's a level, and now they went above that, so now I want to take a step back and remove myself from that situation.
Sure. I think we have to understand that those people aren't going to come to us and be like, oh, my bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we have to make sure we understand that we actually are going to have to remove ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to be the bigger person in a sense like this. Like, you have to be the person that goes, yep, this isn't working. Otherwise, they're going to constantly rope you in because they almost get like a high off of being toxic or treating you poorly.
Sure.
You know?
I think also another thing that we have to understand, and this is honestly probably my biggest struggle, is I've always been the warrior person of like, I want to help everybody get through everything, but I had to learn that I'm not responsible for carrying someone else through situations, and
right.
And I think a toxic person always expects you to make it better for them.
Yes,
like, they're
absolutely.
not going to do anything to better their own situation. They want you to fix it for them. And it took me a while to really understand that I don't have to carry. There's a difference between wanting to help somebody through something and having to carry somebody through something. Because in one side, helping insinuates that they are coming beside and they are doing part of it as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But do you have something? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I was just agreeing with you. Like, it's just so true.
Yeah. But one thing I want to make sure to say is that we're not saying burn bridges. We're not saying you have to cut this person out of your life and never talk to him again to be healthy and to be safe. We're just saying, like, you have to remove yourself from a space and maybe go with the expectation that nothing is going to come back. But if that person comes back and says, hey, I understand what I did was wrong later, that maybe, just maybe, you would give them an inch to work in. And maybe you would give them a space that they could come into your life, but always keep them at a distance. I see somebody from SUMC.
Yeah, I was just about to.
Who is that?
I was like, what church was he at?
Sterling. I'm assuming it's Sterling UMC, and that's the church I worked at before I came back to Hickory Flat. So
I saw
I'm intrigued to see who
SUMC,
it
and
is.
I was like, oh, Poison Sumac. You know, I guess I was like, yo, that's a little wild.
But I want you all to know, and I think Nick would echo this, that like God has something special for each one of us, and we have a part to play in His plan. And there's always going to be the opportunity for people to come and remove us from that. And there's all the time, I feel like relationships are one of the main causes for us to be pushed off track, because it's people we care about, and sometimes people are messy.
Yeah. Not sometimes, all the time. Every person is messy on some level, because there's no one that is just perfect. Like, there's no picture perfect person out there, except Jesus. But like, I'm just saying, like, you know, in today, someone is always going through something. There's always room for improvement, no matter what. I mean, there's always room for improvement in me, you know. So there's always room to grow, and every person is going to be messy. So you have to go into relationships and into friendships with that knowledge, and always like kind of guard yourself from that, because you don't know. Like, they might seem great, but then deep down they might not be, and the toxicity will eventually work its way out.
Sure.
So
I do think, though, because we are created to be in community, that we have to have a certain amount of openness towards people. But we have to recognize when that person's only one to take from us.
Yeah. I'm not saying you can never just cut yourself off and like live in your little box, like what we're doing now. Everyone's like, oh my gosh. I see people, they're like, I don't know how I'm supposed to stay inside for 2 weeks. I'm like, you do it at Christmas, just fine. But like, for extended periods of time, it's hard. It's hard just disconnecting, and if you put yourself in that box and build up all these walls and these barriers, you'll become lonely. So on a certain level, yeah, you do have to have a level of openness for sure. I just think it's also important that you don't, I say, jump both feet into a situation every time, because when you jump both feet in, it's really hard to get back out. So
I think to
always be careful, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think to close this out, the main thing we want you to know is that don't let people dictate what God is asking you to do. Always follow God in that stuff. And if you come across somebody who's trying to take from you, take that from you, but also take more things away from who you are, understand that it's okay to move on and leave them. I see Megan, is she asking a question here? Let's see. It says, how do you cope with a toxic person talking bad about you to your other friends once you do cut them out of your life? I think you have to trust that your friends know who you are, and that you don't need to get into that toxic battle with them. The people who you care about that might be hearing these things, they know the truth, and they know when people are trying to manipulate scenarios to make them sound better, especially if they know you really well. So I would say to just be you, and do what God's still calling you to do as a person, and be the type of person that God's asking you to be in the midst of all of that. So I think that's how I would answer that. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I would also just state, like, you can't change yesterday, but you can change tomorrow.
Sure.
So you sometimes, and it's dealing with coping. Sometimes it is. Sorry, I saw Matt's comment there. I just giggled a little bit. Coping is like multi-leveled, so it's always going to be a process. You're always going to be working on So it's not gonna be like this, like one step fixes everything. It's gonna be a struggle. You are gonna have bad times with it,
and there may be some backlash.
And yeah, I mean, and you might lose some friends, but I dare say, man, that they've like, sorry guys, there's this car in the parking lot and it just keeps making laps. And it's just
shiny.
No. Yeah. They're like, I see the rainbow ending over here, but I can't find the gold. Weird.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I was just saying, you might lose friends, but I dare say that they probably weren't friends in the first place. If you do lose them over something like that, or if you did lose them, that's probably not a person you want in your life.
Somebody who might be more inclined to leave later.
Right. So in the moment, it's absolutely horrible. But then, like, down the road, you're going to look and be like, oh my gosh, that saved me so much grief and so much heartache. Like, I'm kind of glad it happened.
Yeah.
So
thanks for your question, Megan. And anytime anybody has a question, please feel free to put it in the chat. We're actually going to transition real quick into a game that we have from the good people over at Download Youth Ministry. They gave us they allowed us to download a resource for free, and I'm excited. So I'm going to turn it over to Nick, and Nick's going to run the game for us.
So I'm going to fade it into the screen, guys, real quick. And we're still down here in the lower right-hand corner for all of you to see.
Uh-oh, it's moving.
Okay.
Don't look at the answers. No! I can't block it.
Okay.
I'm trying. Have we stopped it?
I paused it.
Okay. So you know what this one is, obviously. So the idea behind this game is that there's going to be a drawing that you have to tell us what it looks like.
Yeah. So it's called 3-Year-Old Pictionary. As you can clearly tell, it's not a game of Pictionary that is 3 years old. Sorry. I made the guy that helped set us up, Elijah. He helped set everything up today after our church service. I made him play the game, and he was like, and I was like, yeah, it's called 3-Year-Old Pictionary. It's great, right? And he's like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, so we start playing it, and he's like, oh, I thought you meant it was a game of Pictionary that was 3 years old. But it's actually Pictionary.
Okay.
That was drawn by
now there's a little more context.
Yeah. So, we want you guys to...
So I'm going to play along with you. I haven't seen most of these.
So guys, take a guess as to what this is. Just put A, B, or C, or the answer.
Caiaphas, Sunstrider, Master of the Burning Legion. I really hope that's what it is.
That
is so cool.
That's what Elijah said, and
it's probably not.
It's not though. I mean, you can just tell by the amount of letters on there that it's definitely not going to be.
Whoa! Are you giving hints?
I mean, the super long ones. I mean, how long do you think it's going to be?
Ooh.
Oh, look, here
come all the
answers.
A's. We got a couple B's. Let's see.
Oh my God!
No.
Here we go. Okay, we're working the kinks out.
Vampire.
Yeah, it's a vampire.
Where are his teeth?
Where's his teeth?
And what's coming out of his mouth?
That's his cape. In the back there, on the back, I wish I had a pen to draw, but I don't. But right back here on my mouse, you can see it here, Nick.
Yeah, y'all can't, but we can.
Yeah, we can see it. That's his cape right there.
Okay, the black bar?
Yeah, and these, the star things next to the letters are his hands.
Oh.
And that's all I could come up with. And his feet are...
Apparently he has a hard time walking forward.
Yeah, his feet are actually golf clubs.
Okay.
Hunter, yeah. It was drawn by Hunter many years ago.
Bro, he's angry. It's a cow.
He's an angry cow. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's go to the next one. Let's see. I think we've already been...
Okay, so this one.
Wait.
A, B, or C.
A crow looking for trash to eat.
Yep.
Bat Rex with a normal stick like
No, a T-Rex.
A T-Rex.
A T-Rex. You need
Why did I read B as for bats? Okay,
you need
a T-Rex with a normal stick like grows out of the snout. And a yawning deer.
Yeah, a yawning deer. Yeah.
Oh, this is the one I saw, right?
Yeah, they're all saying A.
Oh, it must be a cow looking for trash to
Oh.
or a crow looking for trash to eat. Is it?
Yeah.
Hey, we got it right.
I know.
Hey.
All right.
Oh, yeah,
All
sorry.
right. Disinfect. Thank you. See, you know what the best part was is if we didn't have the little camera up in the
Nobody would
bottom,
see that?
no one would have even known we high five.
We put it back. All right. What's the next one here?
Yeah, so this one, you got a zombie rabbit, a happy bat, or this is you.
This is you, Daddy.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with
We got a lot of
a
B's.
zombie rabbit.
Yeah,
I'm
we
going
got a
with
lot of
zombie rabbit.
B's. Got a couple C's, maybe an A or two.
Wait, did the same kid draw all these?
I think so.
Because the feet look eerily similar to the
They
two of
do.
them.
They colored them in though. So.
Oh.
Yep, I know. It's a
Dang.
happy bat. Now, if you guys notice, he is smiling, so that's how you
Oh, this
know.
one was popped up earlier too, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think
remember
so.
the note. No, not this one.
You can see the smile. That's how you know it's happy.
At least Emily picked the same one with me. Thanks, Emily. Oh, and Bryce.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh.
So
okay.
I don't think anyone saw this one.
All right.
So
So a 3-horned goat,
yep, a 3-horned goat.
Grand Dark Lizard King of the North,
Yep. Or a dancing gecko. So
What?
yeah, I mean it's real hard. Oh, we got some C's.
I really like the King of the North. I just like that answer.
Yeah, I mean it's an interesting answer for sure. Y'all should have heard. I'm gonna read that. So we got some C's, we got some A's. It says has to be B. Hunter said it has to be B.
I'm gonna go B too.
B?
I'm ride or die with Hunter right now.
All right. Well,
Let's
we'll
see.
find out. You know.
A dancing
It's
gecko?
yeah, and he's mid-jig.
Mid-jig.
That's how you know.
Okay.
You know.
All right. That's pretty good.
All right,
All right.
A friendly centipede?
Yep. A superhero cat fighting bad guys.
The coronavirus.
Or the coronavirus strain.
it does look kind of like the coronavirus.
It does, minus the head. Like, I haven't seen a coronavirus. Matt Nelson says it's C.
I think that's Sarah.
No, I think it's Matt.
Oh, okay.
I think it's actually Matt.
A.
A friendly centipede?
I'm gonna go with A. I'm gonna go with A too. I
A?
think it's a friendly centipede.
So, everyone's saying C right now, so, I mean, I'm just saying.
A superhero cat fighting bad guys? Where's the bad guy?
Well, you see, he already beat the bad guy, right? So, arms are fur, hashtag art. You know what I'm saying?
So
The Clay kids can, respect that. It's for sure, Matt.
no, it's for sure, Matt. No, for sure. Okay.
So yeah.
Bryce put C twice. He wanted us to know really well, and so did Jennifer.
Big brain boker.
That's definitely not Matt.
It is. All right.
It's the vaccine.
The next one.
Oh my gosh.
All right. A pterodactyl.
By the way,
The
how is
P
that not
is-
Peterodactyl?
It's a pterodactyl.
A Peterodactyl.
A pterodactyl. It's a pterodactyl, a dragon who's also a fireman, or a rabbit. I'm not a dragon.
Oh.
A rabbit relaxing in a hammock. Caleb is saying it's Yoda. I don't know how
It does kind of look like Yoda.
it's Baby Yoda.
That's not a baby Yoda.
It is.
The head's not more like a football.
But here's the thing: a 3-year-old drew it. So
I'm gonna say A. I think it's a pterodactyl.
it's a pterodactyl.
A Peterodactyl.
It is. It's a dragon who's also a fireman. You can see. You can see it when you can definitely tell if you're not.
even the emoji guy's like, I don't know.
I mean, it's definitely B. If you just squint your eyes and don't look at it at all,
Oh,
it's
so
definitely
people
B.
got it, I guess.
I mean,
Baby Yoda, baby Yoda.
here's the thing: a 3-year-old drew it. Exactly, Hunter. A 3-year-old did draw it. So
I need a little more artistic ability out of these 3-year-olds.
We'll get Ellie Clay to draw us some next week.
Ellie Clay, you're on topic
You
for
got
next
it?
week.
Big
Nick
fire.
Window, the big fireman guy.
All right.
One more?
We got one more, okay?
Okay.
This one's for all the raisins. All right? This, I'm sorry. It's President Donald Trump, a Yeti singing opera,
Oh, I can see that.
Batman with a beard. So,
I'm gonna say C.
C. Caleb's saying C too.
What else?
So,
What else are we seeing? Who
we
else
got
is-
we got one B, and that's it. You know, Andrew saying C.
my old
Ellie,
Spanish teacher.
they're trashing the 3-year-old's ability.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Everyone, I got a lot of B's right now.
A Yeti singing.
Senora Vargas.
Wait,
That's the Spanish
I
teacher.
think Senora Vargas was there when I was there. How
Well,
long has she taught there?
I don't know.
I've heard that name a lot.
I've heard a lot of bad things.
I'm
but
going Batman with a beard.
Batman with a beard. All right. Answers in. We are going to find out. It is Batman with a beard.
I got like one right out of all of them.
You got 2.
Did I get 2?
I feel like you got 2.
Maybe I got 2.
But it was one that, we already had the answer
I'm
on.
look. I know my Batmans. Like,
Yeah, I hear you.
you see what I'm saying? I know.
Yeah.
I know my Batmans.
Oh, yeah. Caleb said it was C. She looks like Dora.
Dora the Explorer.
Dora. All right. You can't say any more than that. We'll get copyright claimed.
Yeah, for real. Stop. Well, thanks, Nick, for the game. That was
Yeah,
awesome. I
absolutely.
hope you guys enjoyed that. Let us know if you'd like us to do more of that type of thing next week. There are other resources that we can pull in. Maybe even some resources that require you guys to get up and do a little movement and stuff like that. But
Yeah, if you guys got game suggestions where it's a game that we can put up on screen and people can give us live feedback, I'm all for it. You guys can text me or Instagram me or... Yeah, that's the only 2 that you know. Yeah, that's it. Yep.
He ran out of.
I ran out of ways to contact
socials.
me. You guys can hit me up on AOL if anyone knows what that is.
Yeah. So the last thing we want to talk about, we are kind of at our time limit, but since you guys are here and I know you've got nothing else better to do, we gonna keep it moving. No.
Yeah. Hey.
I do want to
Respect.
remind you guys that relationships, outside of toxic ones, obviously, relationships are very vital in the Christian walk, and investing in people that build you up instead of tearing you down is not only mutually beneficial, but it really helps you grow. And walking through life with somebody who values you and somebody who wants to pour into you, I feel like there's not much better, to be able to share life with somebody like that.
Absolutely. I mean, it's super important. It's super important to have someone that helps you grow as a person. As you said earlier, it's a give and a take. You help them. They might not be super great at one thing, but you might be. So you help them with that, and you help them grow, and then they might be really good at something that you're not, and they help you grow spiritually, physically, and mentally.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I know that right now, we are being called to be more separate than ever through isolation and social distancing and stuff like that. But being apart in a physical sense is what God's asked us to do normally. And we can follow that will now, but we have to be more creative in terms of maintaining relationships. So I want to challenge.
I'm sorry. I just saw Hunter's chat, and
no.
it was the relationships are vital. And he goes, "Mine's my mom," and then he goes, "Oh wait, relationships."
This got awkward. But we all can do our part in helping slow the curve of all this stuff. But I want to make sure that I challenge you guys to something this week, and I hope that you kind of take it seriously. I hope it's something that you plan to do, and I challenge you to reach out to 3 people that you haven't talked to yet.
Trace, that's
during
not
this
that
whole
hard.
thing. You got a whole week.
I know 3 people.
You
I
can
don't
probably text
know
them
a
right
lot of
after this,
people.
right?
I could text you.
What?
Well, I mean,
you're already talking to me.
But I'll text you.
Oh, okay.
Like after I leave, I won't be talking to you. So
That's
then
true.
I can text you. You know.
So 2 people after that.
Yeah, 2. I feel like I could text my dog if I got him a phone. So there's a second.
Okay.
You know? And then I always go to Chick-fil-A. So I'll just
Talk to somebody there.
No, I'll just get on my app and like text them, be like, "Yo, how you doing?" Like, extra ranch. Hope you're having a good day. You know. So
Don't text y'all's exes.
That's
Or toxic people.
yeah.
What a segue.
Which I mean, your ex might be toxic, so who knows?
Yeah. And I just want to remind you guys, as we're wrapping up here, there's a few ways, again, that you can stay connected to us. And the first one is the Instagram. It's at hickory.flat.youth. It'll pop up here on your screen in just a second.
That it will.
And
I wish I was paying attention.
well, it's okay. You'll see it right in this area. If you can't see it by yourself, I just showed it to you.
Right there.
Ooh, look at that. He's Vanna Whiting up
I
here.
know.
They don't even know who Vanna White is. But that's a place that we're going to try to update daily, weekly, stuff like that, just to kind of keep you guys informed of what's going on. We do have plans eventually to do like a movie watch party through Netflix. We're hoping to do some gaming situations and stuff just for other ways to stay connected. But I don't know if you guys like that I was putting out challenges of the day. For one of them we got some responses, the other we didn't really get some responses. If that's something else that you would like to be a part of, or you have some ideas of challenges that we can do throughout the day, I'd love to have some participation in that. I think it's a lot of fun to think about and to try to do. It's just a fun way to pass some time in the middle of these weeks. And again, small groups are going to be happening. Nick and Nick at night. What we're doing right now, every Sunday as long as we can. Make sure you join the texting tree, which he's got down here.
Yeah, that's super important, guys. I'm even on it, and I'm not even a youth.
That's true.
And I still I text you back. I'm gonna be honest here. Anytime we have like a retreat or a mission trip, I still ask for a packing list, and you can attest to this.
It's facts.
I do. I'll go, "What's the packing list?" And he's like, "What you would normally." I'm like, "But I need a packing list."
Yeah.
So there's benefits. I know we're a little off topic there, but I feel like it's important to air all this out.
We just want you to stay connected, and we want you to know that we are still doing stuff. Is this just the basic youth remind? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So we'll just be sending stuff out through it to kind of keep you guys in the know of what we're doing. If you have any thoughts of stuff that you'd like to do or any questions, we are all just working. This is the first time we've ever gone through a pandemic.
Yep.
So we are having to reimagine a lot of the ways that we are doing ministry currently. So we are very open to ideas.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'd love to hear from you guys of things that you guys would like to do. So if you have any feedback of the stream, please also hit us up.
Please don't contact me.
You can
I'm
contact me.
kidding.
I would
you
love
guys
to
can
hear
contact me.
anything. Let me know kind of the stuff that you guys really liked.
Caleb's texting me.
Oh,
He's
already?
probably yeah. Well,
There's no way.
He's going to tell me it's the fan. Get the Discord link. He's giving me the Discord link to put
Okay.
in chat. I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Maybe he's just sending it out to people.
Well, I can't. Next week we'll figure out how to put the Discord in there. We'll text it out on the text tree for everyone.
Oh yeah, I can do that.
There you go.
For sure.
Hunter, you're allowed to be on the text tree. You are an adult in training, so you're an AIT. You're
That's
allowed
right.
to be
An
on
adult
there.
in training.
Yeah. So.
And again, this is something that we can share out to people. And with all that being said,
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
That's all I gotta say, guys. Stay happy and healthy. Be safe. Wash your hands. Don't be nasty.
We love
That's
you.
the video that we should have put in there today.
Don't be nasty.
Don't be nasty. Don't be nasty. Wash your hands. Stay socially distanced, guys. It's super important. Not for us, but for your parents, your grandparents, and your loved ones. Okay.
Absolutely.
So-
And us. I mean, there have
Well,
been cases of people our age dying.
Yeah,
Like us
yeah.
and your age.
Yeah.
So it's really for all of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
So stay happy and healthy, guys. Love you all.
Love you guys. Praying for you.